Hello, everyone. Welcome to Fubble Games. I am Fubble. We are going to do something weird. I've done a couple of these way back in the day on some Jim Butcher books, but we are going to do a video review for Battletech Blood Will Rise by Tom Levine. All right, so as you can see, I did purchase this on April 21st. Um, It is currently sitting at 3.9. Ooh, it's actually gone up one review. It's been out a week and it's got 9 reviews. Actually, over a week now. And nobody's written a single word. So, okay. Bear with me. Sorry, I forgot to pull this up. Oops. Okay. Okay. Bear with me. Sorry. I had everything else set up. Except I didn't have this. On degrees, we have a 2-star out of 3. As you can see, I have given it a 1-star. So, okay. Let's see. So, back to Amazon. Book's 369 pages, so you actually are getting about 330-ish because of all the ends. Let me pull up the wonderful table contents. So, as usual, there is 3 parts to the book. One covers the first 20 chapters, the second one covers the next 15, and part three covers the last 19 or so. And then you have the typical Battletech stuff, which is all of the uh, stuff posted on the end. Yay! So, in my opinion, yeep, that's the back. Okay. My opinion is it's a less than 1-star book. Amazon will only allow you to give it a 1-star. 3 sections of the book end up being the first one is basically vacation. Danny goes on a vacation for the entire first how many ever chapters I just told you about. There's some setup in there, but it's literally a vacation for 33% of the book. She doesn't even get into Julian until 36% of the book is over, which really means it's like 40% because of all the Battletech normal stuff that goes into a book. All right. Second section, it is going to be war crimes. Danny commits war crimes on every day that ends in Y. On purpose and not thinking anything's through. And section 3, I'm going to call Dalshin goes to Devlin Stone's cryogenically frozen brain officer camp at school because he commits a lot of the sins that Devlin Stone does during the Ill Clan invasion of Terra. Unfortunately, it gets bad. So, first one, I have 21 little notes I want to go over. This is just creepy foreshadowing. It's basically a lot of things to do with one of the characters. So I'll go over the main characters that we have. We have Dalshin, we have Danny, we have Noah, who is Danny's wonderful assistant and probably eventual love interest because it's that heavily blah. Um, Robbie, who is the character being mentioned here, which is the wonderful mask agent who is now Dao Shen's wonderful bodyguard. Um, we will get into how this just ends up being horrible. Um, and then we go to, let's see, um, there's Jack Cade, who I really won't even cover because he does go out like a boss, but it just isn't really even worth anything. Let's see. There's the members of the Mac who are fighting Dao Shen, but realistically, they each get like a chapter here, a chapter there, and that's it. Um, again, minor characters. There's a couple characters in the wonderful vacation section that I won't even go over either because meh. Um, so next one, go to this whole section. This character is never heard of from again after this one page of text. Um, there's really no explanation of what he finds, and it is totally pointless. I think this book was heavily edited down. Um, I feel like the Mac officers got really shortchanged. Um, so as you see, my note for the next one is sexual battery. So let's look at that. Yeah, the Chancellor, I was raised in it on his fingertips. Yeah, you see where Dalshin's going with this. Uh, Once we get to the end, which I am going to spoil. Ooh, I forgot to do this. Oh, sorry. Um, I'll have my personal thoughts on it. Um, All right, so we are at 36% of the book, 1993. Uh, that was an okay year. Um, this is the first time in the book that Danny has been in Julian. Yeah, if you know, you know. I just highlighted that to just show how far into the book we are. Okay, the current batch of Battletech authors has this wonderful thing with hair. One author put in coiffed like 5 times in a book. I'm like, okay. And then this one also has some stuff to do with hair, and that's okay. This one kind of is okay because it's just that. But then after reading this, the instant thing I thought was go Power Rangers. um, but it was just a quick little like, oh okay, whatever. Yeah, but it was just kids with attitude. Yeah, Power Rangers. Okay, maybe I'm just getting old. All right, next one. All right. When I first read this, I was like, "Oh yes, we're getting a YouTube video of her doing a Tiny Desk concert." I just thought it was funny because they made this big deal about her minuscule desk. Again, just nothing major, just something I thought was hilarious in my head. Okay, the next one is the one that everybody's probably seen on Twitter, X or whatever you want to call it today. X will eventually never stop calling it Twitter. Kelsey smiled ever so slightly, and what's that makes you a cap, isn't it? Because you don't know why. You never will. Some internal organ of Danny's twitched. He prayed Kelsey hadn't seen it. What internal organ? Right. Um. Yeah. I think he wanted to put something there and got editorial down. Or, all right, here's where people get stupid. All right, the Capellian Confederation is known for one thing: war crimes, and more war crimes, even though they're the ones who created the Ares Convention. The next thing they are known for is landmines and booby traps and anything that's not technically, face to face combat and yeah, everything. So, Danny knew landmines, but she didn't expect anybody to actually use them against her. This is, like I said, the wonderful Devlin Stone, cryogenically frozen, freeze dried brain officer candidate school. And I'll get to even more stupider things about her. Next one. They have a wonderful, nice FOB that they actually have, which is a forward operating base, if you do not know military terminology. They have all their dropships landed on it. They actually think to ever put sensors up to detect anything that was happening on their base. One seismic sensor. No. They did not care about operational security. They allowed the rebels to basically dig a tunnel under their dropships and knock it over. All right. Next one. Just what Battletech needed: more ghosts. So, I don't know if anybody's been paying attention because I'm the only person reading these wonderful books, it seems like. Um, yeah, there is about 10 new units called Ghost something. There's Ghost Bird, Ghost Dogs, these ghosts. Um, the only thing that there's more of lately is Kellhound's successor chapters. All right. Ah, Danny, basically telling you to, within my parameters, make them pay. And guess what? They worked within her parameters to a point, and then she gets mad that they bulldoze the city. Which happens here. So the ghosts go in, do compelling things, and basically burn down a city. Or a quarter of a city, sorry. Because here comes War Crimes Barbie to make it even better. So she got mad at the ghost, right? Uh, so that was her unwitting. All right. So she finds Cade. His niece is dead in his arms. So she ends up shooting Cade right in the forehead. Prisoner of war. Bang. Done. Then she orders the whole town raised. Just after she just bitched out the person who was in charge of the ghosts for raising the town. So, War Crimes Barbie is back. All right, here is the next one that I posted that has gotten a lot of traction on Twitter. Danny resecured her long black hair into a ponytail so tight it lifted her eyebrows a centimeter. A lot of people said something about the Corridon facelift. If you read about the Corridon, it is the appearance of. So it makes everything look like that. Okay. Now, how big is a centimeter? Let's How tight would her hair have to be? Ah, God. All right, next one is just definitely some foreshadowing. So basically, Danny has now gone back to Cyan. They're doing a security inspection. Blah blah blah. The entire level can withstand an impulse burst nuclear explosion. Comes in important at the end. This I don't remember why I highlighted this one, but it had something to do with just heavy foreshadowing. Or no. Oh, the one sweat drop released from her armpit. From her left armpit. Very specific, very weird. She felt a single drop of sweat released from her left armpit and slid down her body. This writer must have an armpit fetish. And one drop? Just one? Usually when you're sweating, you just suddenly have, like, yeah, you know what I'm going with. Um, wow, this is taking longer than I thought. All right. This is Roby. She's good. The only thing more is she is quietly trusted. For those, I'm here to be used as needed. That is basically Roby admitting that she's there to be sexually assaulted. So yes, Dalshin is a giant perv in this book. Uh, Next one, Dad gave herself a shake. Until then, back to work. I'm sure there has need for you, which reminds me, I too can be trusted with secrets, Robbie. So Danny here knows that Dalshin's using Robbie as his little personal sex doll, and yeah, does nothing about it. Dalshin basically sexually assaulting her again. Here is Dalshin, wonderful. Yes, Dalshin. Here is his attempt to graduate from the Devlin School of Freezer Burn Brain Officer Training School. So, chapter before to one of the units for the Capellians got lost when they did a pirate jump or pirate point jump. Now, this is where so Dalshin's like, nope, nope, can't lose any more units. We're good. So, because he refuses to use it, he thinks everybody else in the world is not going to use it. Okay. And the last one. So, basically, this is the last page of the book. Roby ends up gutting Dalshin like a fish. I'm not gonna say he didn't deserve it. Nope, nope. Um, he basically was Emperor Nero at the end. So basically, what's going on in this scene is it's Cyan. The Ravens are bombarding it, or is it like Liao? Which one is it? Bear with me. Liao, sorry, it's Liao. The Snow Ravens started bombarding it. The courtroom. Danny gets everybody into that section I showed you earlier about the foreshadowing. And then Robbie and Dalshin are taken under a table in the courtroom. Or, yeah. And uh, Robbie just decides to be like, hey, you think you're a god, but guess what? The office of the chancellor is more important than any one person, and takes him out. So, leading up to, I guess, the last two books with Danny, I felt she was the anti-Capellan Capellan. Want to say more like a Tormano Liao instead of a Sun Tzu or one of that. Yeah. um, there's unfortunately this is the only thing that really happens in this book, this last page, and it's kind of annoying because it could have been a lot. They go over some of the stuff that goes in IK, Il Clan's Eyes Only, or Ilkon's Clan Eyes Only. Sorry, I just call it IKEO. Um, but a lot of it's just, like I said, a third of the book's vacation, and it could be just that could have been eliminated. In fiction, I'm kind of tired of vacations, proms, parties. I won't put in sporting events because I know of one place that sporting events were good in. And if you have read X-Men comics for a very long time, there would be always this issue after like a major storyline where the X-Men would be playing softball or basketball, and it always was well written, well done, and it gave the characters a chance to decompress. There is a section here where Danny plays soccer, so I didn't have a fault with that because it was a way for her to decompress from other things. But yeah, the whole vacation thing, the whole gala prom thing, it needs to end. Just stop. um, so Daoshin's gone. Danny's going to probably be Chancellor. Robbie. I'm going to. My thoughts on the character of Robbie is she was placed there for one thing. This was all kind of going to happen. They took a 21-year-old girl, put her with a leech, expecting her to get knocked up. And here's why. The mask does not care about who is on the chancellor's throne. They care about the office of the chancellor. Danny has no hairs. There is nobody else to take over the compelling confederation if something happens to Danny. Robbie probably kills Daoshin after she finds out she's pregnant. That way, there is a continuation of the true line to say, and we go from there. It didn't help that Daoshin was a total creep about it, and that wasn't hateful. um, but that is where we are at. Unfortunately, um, I just want to say that this is probably one of the worst Battletech books I have read. I know a lot of people have turned off from the Battletech books, and I can see why. And yeah, this is my penance for living life, is to read these books and go over them with you. So if we get some good traction on this, I will do more of them, and I will put it up and say, hey, which books do you want to actually hear about? In the last year or so, there's been 3 books I will recommend. Uh, from decent to great quality. Great quality would be In the Shadow of the Dragon, Craig A. Reed Jr. Go read it. It is probably the best Battletech novel in the last 20 years, maybe even longer. Um, very light mech action. Actually, the mech action in the book is added at the very end, and it actually really has no place in the book. It's almost like if you've ever seen Bad Boys 2, the whole Cuban scene is almost pointless. It's just there to have an action scene. Um, and so Michael Bay could blow up towns and villages and shanties. But cool action scene, but also unnecessary. Uh, Trial Birthright. I will say it was a good book. It could have been better, but it was good. And then hold on, I gotta look this one up because it was in a series. Um, That's right. That was, yeah, that was really good. Actually, like Damocles Sanction. That was pretty decent. Read that. Oh, that's okay. Elements of Treason Honor. Also by Craig A. Reed Jr. It is. It is. It would be a good book. It might even have made it to a great book, but unfortunately, elements of that story right there had to be transposed into from elements from other books set in the similar area that unfortunately dragged the book down because of the stupidity to make the other story work. But if you were to remove that section, it would be a good, decent book. Um, so that is my report for this book. Like I said, I give it a full. Oh, did I just post that? I think I just did. 1 star, only because Amazon will not give me a lower star on the Fubble scale of rating. I give it a 10 out of 100, and I go. And the Fubble rating score is A's would be 80 and above. Everything else is every 20, because that way I get some definition. It's a 10, and most of that is the last page of the book. That Dao Shin died like a dog. All right. Thank you, everyone. Please like, comment, whatever. I would greatly appreciate the support. And in the comment section, put another book you want me to do this to, because there's plenty of Battletech books, and most of them right now are horrible. Thank you. Have a great day.